Good afternoon, everybody. Today I just want to share with you Luke chapter 4, and I'm going to read verse 18. In the King James Version, it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, and to preach the acceptable year of the Lord." If we read it from the Amplified Bible, it reads, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, the Messiah, because he has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to announce release, pardon, or forgiveness to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free those who are oppressed, downtrodden, bruised, crushed by tragedy, to proclaim the favorable year of the Lord, the day when salvation and the favor of God abound greatly." Don't you think in the world that we live in today with the coronavirus or COVID-19, with all of those things going on, that there's some bad news right now? And so with there being so much bad news, people are looking for good news. And when they're looking for good news, guess what? God has men and women of God who are anointed and appointed for such a time as this, for such a season as this. And you might be thinking, yeah, he does. But guess what? If you're watching this video, you're one of them. So thinking about that, how does this apply to you? Well, think about it. It says the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. You don't have to do anything in your own might or power or ability. God's power rests on you. Think of it like when you put on a shirt in the morning. There's a power that's on you. On you for what? On you to preach to the poor the good news. What is their bad news? So this could be in your job for those of us that are still blessed to be working right now. If you're in a meeting and they need a strategy on how we can keep going with different things for different areas, different groups through this time, how we can be more efficient without cutting costs in the form of layoffs, that's good news. To see how we can do things better in this time, that's still good news. God has you positioned strategically to provide answers, to go forth for the future, to lay a foundation right now. What about the people in your life? There's people that I've seen posts in the last few days of one lady's spouse died from coronavirus. There's so much that's going on right now. So many people laid off. They're not sure of the future. But guess what? God has a future for them. God has a plan. And if they're looking at their things that are going on in their life right now, they're going to be open to hearing about how can this get better? How can this change? It talked about in the scripture, those that are downtrodden, bruised, crushed by tragedy. A layoff to a lot of people is tragedy. A death in the family due to this is tragedy. Not being able to function in everyday life the way they used to. These things are tragic. But guess what? God has you strategically positioned to share with them the good news, encourage them that there is greater to come, that things are going to get better. It will change. You're going to make it through this. Find out what someone's bad news is and tell them the good news of God, because he's the one who's going to get them through this, and he's the one that's going to bring them to the greater plans that he has for them. Have a great day.